Hello there, Maureen Murat here with Crowdie Advisors, where our motto is small business demystified and crowdfunding simplified. We have here Samson Williams with Axes and Eggs, which is a think tank and digital advisory firm. So today we wanted to talk about ICOs, STOs, and crowdfunding, what each are, and I guess how they also intersect, right?
Yes.
So an initial coin offering, I guess I'll give a quick definition and I'll let Samson add on to it. So an initial coin offering is the ability for people to raise money for a project or a project that they haven't created yet, that they're developing, or something that they need to complete. Generally, it is a blockchain technology enabled type of project. But essentially, it's an unregulated way that people are collecting money to raise money so that project can be deployed. Would you add anything to that?
Yeah, we'll just add that the ICOs are blockchain-based technology. So ICOs, initial coin offerings, they're a fundraising mechanism, and meaning they're also a fundraising period. Many people during the hype of the ICO market from 2017 and 2018, approximately $26.8 billion was raised under the ICO STO model. And that was unregulated crowdfunding. Let's be clear about that. By and large, these offerings weren't done under the guise of the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commissions, the CFTC, Commodity Future Trade Commission, or FINRA, which is the financial regulatory agencies. So none of those rules for crowdfunding for securities for commodities was followed under the 2017-2018 ICO model. So just want to be clear about that. And remember, initial coin offering and even crowdfunding, regulated crowdfunding, is not actually your job. Running your business is your job. Crowdfunding is just a fundraising period that you go through to actually fund your business. So I just wanted to add that. And I think that sort of takes us into, okay, if they're crowdfunding, what is regulated crowdfunding and what are these STOs?
Right. So, and I guess what came out of the ICO hype was STOs, right? Because ICOs were unregulated, regulators were cracking down and filing enforcement actions against all these different businesses. And so then we kind of moved into the STO phase. And so STO stands for security token offering. And a security token offering is very similar to an ICO in that people are raising money to either complete or start or develop a blockchain-based project. But in this instance, the STO, the token, is considered to be a security. The people are accepting the fact that it is a security, and so that means that that token is actually backed by something. So it's either backed by revenue or it's backed by equity. And so I think what made people kind of move into that phase was because the ICO phase was so hot and so contested that STO just seemed like a natural progression.
Yeah, a lot of people lost a lot of money in the ICO model.
Yes.
I like to say the sheep get burnt only once. Once you burn the sheep once, they get smarter. And so they said, oh, we're giving people money, but we're not sure why, and what we get in return.
Right.
So they went from unregulated initial coin offerings to regulated regulated-ish STOs. And just keep in mind, if someone is securitizing a token offering, they should be doing it under what's called Reg CF. It's out of Title III of the Jobs Act of Reg CF, regulated crowdfunding, where you can raise up to $1,070,000 underneath your Reg CF regime. Or they're doing doing it under what's called a Reg A Plus, where you can raise up to $50 million, or Reg D, which has unlimited raises but a couple of other nuances.
Right.
So those are slightly different. We cover those in a different video, but we wanted to give you a little idea of that. ICOs were by and large unregulated crowdfunding. STOs are regulated crowdfunding.
With a twist.
With a twist. And so just keep in mind, do your due diligence, do your own research, make sure they're dealing with a FINRA approved crowdfunding campaign. And of course, you can always just check with the SEC to see if the person, the issuer, the startup or business who's issuing those tokens, those blockchain-based cryptocurrencies even, is an actual legitimate business or a bad actor.
Right. And I guess the last thing we wanted to mention was how those two things, how ICOs and STOs are very similar to crowdfunding, except ICO sounds,
it's a great marketing term.
Yeah, it's a great term, right? STO just sounds better than crowdfunding. But when we think about what crowdfunding is, right, which is raising small amounts of money from a large group of people, then that's essentially what STOs are and ICOs are. Granted, there have been some ICOs or STOs that have been able to raise large amounts of funds from solely accredited investors, and there are those, but I think generally speaking, most of these types of businesses were raising money from the general public and not necessarily very wealthy people. And so that's why I think it's good to mention that if people are issuing or saying that we're doing an STO, oftentimes, at least nowadays, it is through a regulated crowdfunding platform. You still have this token structure. The token may or may not represent anything, so it kind of doubles as a marketing term as well. But at the same time, you have the benefit of knowing that this campaign actually has some regulatory structure to it. And so even though you could still lose all your money, because that's the risk you take when you invest, it's more likely that you'll at least have some recourse if something bad happens.
Yeah, so just to wrap this up before we close it out, you can lose all your money. All investing is super risky. ICOs, STOs, they're all some type of crowdfunding. Make sure you're dealing with a reputable, regulated crowdfunding platform and issuer. So that's it for the moment. In our next video, we're going to talk a little bit about IEOs, initial exchange offerings. Slightly different, but we're going to give you about 3 minutes on that. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.